What's up, guys? Okay, as you know, I've been really busy. I've been wading through countless emails, messages. Thank you to everyone who's reached out and shared their stories. It's very courageous of you. This is very much a David Goliath situation here, where the small people getting fucked over once again by big corporation. First information drop is here. A lot more to come. Like I said, I'm going to report the information as I get it, and it's going to come in small bits, and it's going to take some time. Working on getting some guests from the podcast on. It's looking promising. So within the next week or so, we should have someone on. So first off, we're going to go over some of this information and let you hear some from the testimony of some of these people. Before I start, for legal reasons, all these are allegations. Nothing is fact. I'm reporting the allegations, and then I'm giving you my opinion on it. That's all. All right, let's get started. First person. I worked for OZH Healthcare in the blank, and I'm saying blank to admit any identifiable information, so there's no retaliation against the people who have been courageous enough to speak out. So, first one. I worked for OZH Healthcare in the blank. While I wasn't a nurse, I did get fired for reporting sexual harassment and replying staff members asking to buy pain medication off of me while patients were in the lobby of the blank. And staff of the board said, quote, "They did not need that type of news going public, for it would hurt the reputation of the hospital," unquote. And after seeing how nurses are being treated now from the board, I'm not sure if this would help, but I thought someone else would like to know how they treat other staff members other than just the nurses. First off, wow. We got a lot to dissect here. Let's start with the sexual assault. Okay, we don't know if let go because of that. That is a heinous allegation, a heinous thing for someone to do, is what I mean. But the pain medication thing, you're more worried about the reputation of your company than a safe and well work environment for your employees. I mean, come on, you fire someone for coming to you with that information. That's about as slimy as it gets. And that really irks me and makes me mad, because I guarantee you there are so many people who deal with this kind of stuff in the workplace, and it makes a dangerous workplace because those people are scared to speak up. What if they're stealing medicine from the hospital itself? But no, let's not investigate. Let's just fire the person who made the allegation because we're worried on how we'll look. Second one. I was one of those who was laid off at OZH. I think it's important that you know, if you don't already, a severance package was offered each based on length of employment. In order to get this payout, they are required to sign an agreement not to disclose anything about their termination or retaliate in any way. Okay, it's pretty cut and dry and pretty normal for businesses when terminating someone to have them sign an NDA. An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement, but the thing is, it makes it impossible for people to speak out on wrongdoings, on things that's happened, and they know it. And what they're doing is they're dangling over their head their severance package, which it can't be much, maybe 2 weeks of pay. We don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to talk on that because I don't know for sure yet. But to dangle someone's livelihood and the way to feed their family over their head and being like, you're either going to sign this NDA or you just can't feed your kids because we just let you go out of the blue. Do you have any keys on you? No? Okay, well, we're going to have the police escort you out of the building. That really pisses me off. This is affecting so many people in our community. So many kids, so many families are not going to... Inflation's up to what it's at now. Prices, and now people are worrying about all the layoffs. I mean, the CEO's making over $600,000 a year. We can't cut his pay at all, but let's take the backbone of the hospital and gut it. That's what makes me mad. But NDAs are normal, but the fact is that they dangling the severance pay or any pay over the head of an employee for a bribe, pretty much, to say, we'll give you your money, but you're going to have to shut up. That's exactly what that is. Slimy. This is, I saved the best for last. I worked for the hospital's blank, so I go and see patients in their homes and provide care for them there. I've had patients whose family members work at surrounding clinics associated with the hospital tell me that some of the clinics have been threatened with closure due to OZH not paying the electric bill. I've heard this from several sources that OZH is not paying their electric bill. I've heard that they are behind several months. Again, these are all allegations, and and I'm giving you my opinion. We are being told that the hospital lost around $3 million in July. We aren't being told anything more than that. When the hospital decided to do their layoffs, they gathered everyone they were laying off into a room, fired them without notice, and escorted them off the property. These people weren't given any time to find new jobs or to prepare for the loss of their current job. Many of these people were direct patient care staff. That's important because from what I've been hearing, it's been touted that they did not terminate any direct care staff. And the fact is, I'm not going to call it laid off because it's not laid off. It's termination. That's exactly what it is. Many of these people were direct patient care staff. I worked for blank last year when they closed their doors, and they were at least decent enough to give a 1-month notice before layoffs, as any business should. You don't just go in and start cutting people out on a day's notice. You know, these are people, these are humans. They have lives, they have families, they have bills. It's common practice. Does the hospital expect a 2-week notice before someone quits? You damn right they do. But turn it around on the other foot and they fire you with a 1 day. That day you get fired. You turn in your keys and you're escorted like a criminal off the premises. If OZH is indeed losing money like they say they are, I believe it's from rehospitalization rates. Rehospitalization means you go in to get seen, you're in the hospital, you leave, you have to come back within 30 days or a certain allotted time for the same ailment. Many patients are being discharged too soon. See, there you go. If the patient has to be admitted to the hospital again within 30 days for the same diagnosis, the hospital doesn't get paid for the second visit from insurance companies or Medicare. I've seen many of our home health patients that we admit to services have to go back to the hospital for things that we can't fix in the home and things that should have been fixed before they were discharged. I've also seen patients go to the hospital emergency department for care that should obviously be admitted, be discharged back home. It's my opinion that it is because the hospital knows they won't be paid for their stay. These same patients then go to other emergency department and are admitted for weeks. Let's break this down a little bit, okay? So say a patient, they goes in and get care. They leave. They come back within a few days. The same thing is still going on. And they're telling them, no, here's some medicine. You go home. Whenever they know in their heart of heart that they need to admit that patient, they won't do it because of fear that the insurance or Medicare will not pay for the second visit because they didn't fix it the first time. Any business, if you don't say you're in the business of, like me, I fix tires. If I fix your tire, you come back in the next day, that same tire's leaking. I'm not going to say, oh, okay, just put some air in and go away. I'm going to fix it and I'm going to send you on your way. They're not doing that. This is a non-for-profit organization. They are labeled a non-for-profit. But yet, they are so worried about their wallet and their bottom dollar that they have cut countless people in our community. I'm hearing 120 people have lost their job. They are cutting a countless amount of our people in our society, our families, our friends. They are cutting them out. They are bribing them by saying, oh, if you don't sign the NDA, you don't get your severance. I'd like to know what the severance is, honestly, if it was even worth it. And it ties the hands of people from being able to speak out against the aggression and the abuse that they have dealt with under this regime, because that's exactly what this hospital is. Mr. Keller, I urge you to get a hold of me, and I urge you to come on. I will not have you on first. I'm going to let people who you have affected directly come on and have a voice first, and then I can have you on to speak, and you give me your explanation on what's happened. And I would also urge you, maybe take a pay cut. If you're making $600,000 plus a year, I think you could take a little less and feed those who have worked religiously and loyally for your company for years. Until then, I'm going to have more information drops, and as they come, I'll be releasing more information. Anyone who wants to reach out to me with their story, please, devtalkspodcast69@gmail.com. We're going to blow this up. We're going to make this a big deal. We're going to make them see how unprofessional and how disgusting this is to do within our community. If they can spend $50 million revamping and making buildings without adding a single bed, then they should be able to pay their employees what they deserve. Until then, cheers.